All right, we are live streaming. Tawana is not here with us today. She is on a much needed and great vacation. So it's just going to be us this evening, but I'm super glad to have everybody here. Welcome to the 10K Project. We are the largest community of Black investors who actively fund Black-owned businesses. And the idea is if 10,000 of us come together and each, for example, put in just $100 into a business, that is $1 million. We can start funding our own businesses instead of waiting for people to fund us. We can profit from our own innovation. We can create jobs that are needed in the community, and we can work together to build Black wealth. So I am Cherie. If you are unfamiliar with the 10K Project, I am the CEO of the organization, and Tawana is my co-founder, and she is the COO. And we run this organization together. Our whole goal is to get more Black people into investing in Black-owned businesses. So as entrepreneurs, you may be wondering, well, how does that work from my point of view? And that is the discussion for the evening. So if you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, please give us a thumbs up and a like. Also subscribe to the channel if you're on YouTube, because we are trying to get our numbers up. Thank you so much. And please feel free to share this information with family and friends. So right now, what I'm going to do is go for about 20 minutes, show you our presentation for the evening here. And then from there, we'll answer questions that you may have. So let me share my screen. Okay, so tonight's topic is all about how to raise $10,000 to $5 million for your business. You know, I have been a full-time entrepreneur since 2007, 2008. I was part-time before then. I started a lot of businesses, done a lot of different things. And this whole 10K project got started because for the past decade, I have been a business plan writer full-time. And people come to me and ask me to write their business plans in order to help them get funding. And people from all ethnicities will come to me in order to ask this, both genders, all sorts of industries, et cetera. Well, there was something that was happening that I began to notice. So my, white and Asian and Middle Eastern clients would come to me and I would ask them, hey, once we write this business plan, who are you going to show it to? And they would invariably have some form of a rich uncle to show it to. My Black clients, even though they had a lot of hustle and grit and they tried to present their business plans to people, they were not as successful with raising funds. So 3 years ago, I started saying to a group of people, it's probably closer to 4 years now, I started saying, hey, if 10,000 of us come together and we each put in $100, that's $1 million. We can start funding our own businesses. Because I started getting the same issue that people were having. And one day, my co-founder, Tawana, in a meeting, I said it like 20 times or something like that by that time. And she said, when are you going to do something about that? And I said, well, I can't do it by myself. So she and the 3 other people that were on the Zoom call with me said, you know what, we'll do it with you. And that was how the 10K project got started. We were the original 5 founding members. Our goal is to build the largest community. We are already the largest community of Black investors who actively fund Black-owned businesses, but our goal is to grow to 1 million people in this network. And we believe we can do that in the next 5 years. It's going to take a lot of hard work, but we are here to educate the community on this and also bring entrepreneurs to the table who have great ideas and investable ideas to the community. So, excuse me, everybody. This is my co-founder, Tawana. Again, she is on a much needed vacation, but she is the COO of the organization. And she is actually the primary person that you will be dealing with as an entrepreneur that is coming to present and pitch in front of our community. So the 10K project is, how we actually work within the community from the ground up in order to help businesses get the funding that they deserve. So, did you know, and you probably know this as entrepreneurs, that Black founders start with about one third the amount of capital as our counterparts do? And that, of course, there are a ton of reasons why. Everything from our homes being undervalued to we don't make as much money oftentimes as our counterparts. We don't have as much savings. So we don't have the rich uncle. We don't have the frat brother that we could go to and get a $200,000 check, et cetera. Yet, there was a McKinsey report that said that when our businesses are properly funded, we make just as much money as any other ethnically founded group out there. So, what do we do, and how can we actually level the playing field? Well, the way to do that is through something called crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is the key for Black entrepreneurs who want to raise capital. So, what is crowdfunding? Crowdfunding is a group of people that get together and put in small amounts of money each for a specific purpose. Now, crowdfunding is not new to the Black community. We started crowdfunding decades ago. One thing that I always think about is rent parties. Some of us some of our ancestors had rent parties in the 1920s and 30s during the Depression in order to make rent. The civil rights movement was crowdfunded. Dr. King was crowdfunded. He actually went into churches, they would pull love offerings together, et cetera, for him. In today's day and time, we see a lot of crowdfunding through GoFundMe. GoFundMe is a form of crowdfunding. If you're familiar with Chris Senegal in the real estate project he is doing in Texas, that is a form of crowdfunding. Sometimes the crowdfunding is just donation-based crowdfunding, but what we do at the 10K Project is we focus on helping entrepreneurs and investing in the businesses and doing something that's called equity crowdfunding. So let's go over some of the types of crowdfunding, and then I'll explain what equity crowdfunding is. So there are 4 basic types of crowdfunding that's out there that's available to all Black entrepreneurs. The first is donation-based crowdfunding. So you can put up a page, for example, on GoFundMe and say, hey, I'm starting this business. I need 100 people to give me $100 each, and I'll be able to start this business. I'll be able to go. In that case, with donation-based crowdfunding, people are giving you money and not expecting anything back in return. Okay. Then there's rewards-based crowdfunding. That is what you see on places like Kickstarter and Indiegogo, where you have a product and you are offering your product in exchange for people funding your business. So you may have something that is worth $200 and you offer it on a crowdfunding platform like Kickstarter, and people will fund your business in exchange for receiving that product. That is rewards-based crowdfunding. You may do something called debt-based crowdfunding. All that means is, hey, I want to get a group of people together in order to fund my business, and I promise to pay them a certain interest rate on a monthly basis or a quarterly basis or an annual basis. The 10K Project does participate in debt-based crowdfunding. So if that's something that you're interested in, that will work. I will say that debt-based crowdfunding works best with companies that already have operations. If neither of those work for you, then equity-based crowdfunding is going to be the best way to go. All equity-based crowdfunding is you offer shares in your company, and we as potential investors can fund your company by purchasing shares in your company. A long time ago, this was only available. This method of funding was only available to rich people. They call them accredited investors, meaning people who make $200,000 as an individual, $300,000 as a couple, or have a net worth of $1 million, not including their primary homes. Those are accredited investors. I'm just going to call them rich investors. Everyday people like me and potentially you were not able to help fund your businesses until something called the Jobs Act of 2012 was actually passed. And it allows entrepreneurs to access more sources of capital through debt and equity crowdfunding. So the law states that you can raise up to $5 million from unaccredited investors in exchange for shares in your privately held business. And one of the great things about equity crowdfunding is we're educating people to not expect their money back for the next 5 to 10 years. So you have an opportunity to actually use the money, I'm going to say, within your business and not have to worry about within equity crowdfunding making a loan payment every single month. You can reinvest those funds for 5 to 10 years, depending on the expectation that you set for the investors. So that's one of the great pluses and benefits of equity crowdfunding. If your business does well, the crowd, i.e., your investors, share in the profits. And if your business does not do well, it doesn't mean that you're a failure. It just means that that idea was a failure. And our investors are trained that the crowd, meaning your investors, only lose what they put into the business. So it ends up being a win-win situation for you as the entrepreneur, as well as the investor. So what can you use this money for? You can use it for all sorts of things. You may want to hire people within your business. You may need it for marketing, for office and retail space, for equipment, for real estate acquisitions. We had one woman come on about a month ago who needed it to buy inventory, and she wanted to buy enough inventory that she could get her per unit costs lowered so that she can make a higher profit per unit. We've had people come on and want to use the money for all sorts of purposes. So you are able to use this money within your business for any purpose that you need in order to grow the business. So let's talk a little bit about some crowdfunding stats here. This is with regards to equity crowdfunding. The average campaign lasts about 9 weeks. So this is not something that you could put up tomorrow and say, hey, I'm crowdfunding, doing equity crowdfunding. No. Crowdfunding and equity crowdfunding and debt crowdfunding is governed by the Securities and Exchange Commission and FINRA. So we have to let you know that as well. But you're going to take some time in order to prepare your campaign, to get on something that's called a portal, which I'm going to talk about, and to actually run your campaign. So the average campaign lasts about 9 weeks. In 2020, the average entrepreneur raised about $275,000. Again, you could raise anywhere from $10,000 to $5 million through equity crowdfunding. And last year, there were 2 Black females that raised $5 million, and there were a couple of other Black people who raised over $1 million. So this is viable for us as a way to raise money for our businesses. And last year, there were about $17.2 billion raised in North America through crowdfunding. This is the future. This is the future way that businesses are going to get funded. We are going to see fewer and fewer people going to traditional places like banks and venture capitalists, and more people doing crowdfunding in order to get their businesses started and growing. So you may be asking if you're eligible to crowdfund. The answer is most likely yes. Yes. So the great thing about crowdfunding is that it is not credit dependent. I have alternative sources of funding for people. And a lot of times they come to me, and my alternative sources do need you to have a good credit score or you've been in business for a while. Um, this is not dependent on that. You don't need to have a great credit score in order to crowdfund. You can be a newbie in business and crowdfund. You can you can be launching a new product or something like that that doesn't have a proven track record yet and crowdfund, et cetera. So there's a lot of flexibility for the people who are raising money through crowdfunding. So what do you need to succeed? The first thing is you need a winning crowdfunding campaign plan. Um, as I said, the crowdfunding industry, especially debt crowdfunding and equity crowdfunding, is governed by the Securities and Exchange Commission and FINRA. FINRA stands for the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority. You are going to need to know how to navigate those two things, because I always have the joke that the three agencies that will put you in jail are the IRS, the FBI, and the SEC. So these are not agencies that we want to play with. You want to have a winning crowdfunding campaign plan for that. You also need to have a winning crowdfunding campaign plan to know how you are going to market and sell your campaign to investors. So the 10K project is one way for you to get investors, but it's not the only way. So that's number one. You're going to need a knowledgeable team who understands legal compliance. Again, we talked about the SEC and FINRA. There are certain things you can and cannot do when you're equity crowdfunding. You're going to need a legally compliant crowdfunding platform. There are over 70 SEC approved crowdfunding platforms. A great crowdfunding coach and crowdfunding group is going to be able to guide you towards the crowdfunding platform that is best for you, because some of them are general and some of them are very specific with regards to, there's one for farms, for example. There is one that is Black owned, so some of those may be better for you than others. You're going to need experts to guide you through your campaign. That's going to be very important for you in order to get the maximum number of dollars possible for your campaign. And then number 5, you are going to need investors. We hope that the 10K project is one place that you will consider when you are launching your campaign and you are looking for investors. So let's talk a little bit about the 10K project and how you find investors through us. We have a little under 2,000 investors now. We have a paid membership, so people pay to actually be a part of the 10K project. And every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time, we host something called a Bet on Black pitch. What that is kind of like a Shark Tank pitch. If, Black Shark Tank is something that somebody called it recently to me, and I said, okay, well, I'm going to snag that and use it. So as an entrepreneur, what will happen is you need to contact my co-founder, Tawana, and there's a way to do that by going to the10kproject.com and clicking on the Pitch Your Business link there. Complete the information, and Tawana, my co-founder, will get your information. When you have a campaign that is about to launch or a campaign that has launched, she will interview you. She will make sure it's a good fit. She's going to do some due diligence. Due diligence is a fancy term for research on you. And if you are selected to come to the 10K project, you will be given a day and time, which is always a Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time, where you can come and present your business in front of the community. So she usually spends about 20 to 30 minutes letting you give a presentation. We've had people in the past do demos of their products and services. We've had people show their investor campaign videos. We have had people talk about their background and their stories. just all sorts of things that people have done within their 15 to 30 minutes where they're, able to just talk with the community about what their business is. And then the rest of the time, we allow the community to ask you questions. They ask you all sorts of questions with regards to your goals for the business, where the business is headed, the milestones that you have, the team members that you have, your exit plan, your go-to-market strategy, etc. This is a community. We're not the sharks where we're looking to gobble you up. This is a very warm community that you're coming to in order to present your business. But we've had all of our people who have come to the 10K project and invested have had, in regards to our concern, they have had a successful time on the Bet on Black pitch and success in onboarding investors from our platform. So we cannot promise that for you, but that is thus far what we have had. We are Black Shark Tank meets Powernomics 2.0 because we do bring three groups of people together. We bring investors who have at least $100 to help fund your business and listen to your Bet on Black pitch. We have entrepreneurs that raise up to $5 million through debt or equity crowdfunding. And the third group of people we bring together are experts, including CPAs, attorneys, coders, project managers, construction people, etc. So the reason for number three, the experts, is because what we were concerned about is, let's say we raise $500,000 for your company. Well, you're most likely going to be looking for people to hire either full-time or part-time or to do specific contract work for you. And what we didn't want to see was that money just leak out of the community. So we do have an expert directory that you will get access to as an entrepreneur that comes to do a Bet on Black pitch. And you will be able to say, hey, you know what? I need an attorney. And you're able to go into the expert directory and look for an attorney and contact that person. And that is how we are doing Powernomics 2.0 to work on increasing the circulation of the Black dollar even longer. So that's why we say that, the 10K project is Black Shark Tank meets Powernomics 2.0. Oh, we have a course that is forthcoming, and it is all about getting you crowd fit and crowdfunding ready. We have a focus group that we're onboarding where that's not going to cost you anything in order to take the course, learn all the information about crowdfunding, and in exchange for that, give us feedback on the course so that we can make the course even better. You need to be on our email list, though, in order to get access to the course, the10kproject.com/entrepreneurs, or you can go to the10kproject.com and put your information into pitch your business. That's going to tag you in our system as an entrepreneur, and we will let you know when the course is going to open. Most likely it's going to be in the next week or so. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing. If you have questions, please let me know. I'm also going to look here in YouTube. Everybody in YouTube, thanks for giving me a thumbs up. If you would continue to give me a thumbs up. And also let me know on YouTube if you have questions. I see a hand raised. Oh, the person put it down. If you have questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to assume that I gave you enough to kind of get started. So Spencer, if you can put in the chat whether you need to have your hand raised. If so, then I will let you speak. I just want to make sure you mean to have your hand raised, so let me know. In the meantime, anybody who is an entrepreneur can also be a member of the 10K Project. The10kproject.com, you can become a member. You can begin to attend the Bet on Black pitches. That way you can get a feel for what they're like. You can begin to engage with the community. The Bet on Black pitches are every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And not only do you get marketed to the people that are listening live, but we have a lot of people that work during that time. So um, they also get replays. So I send the replays out 3 times, and then we continue to send the replays out until your campaign is closed. We send them out during Monday. We have a newsletter that goes out to our members, and Thursday we have a newsletter that goes out to our members. So your campaign is continuously promoted to our members, especially those new members that come on and they may have missed your campaign. If your campaign is still open, they get a listing of all the current campaigns that are still open, and they will most likely listen to your Bet on Black pitch as a replay, and you know, and consider investing in you. So, all right, Spencer, I'm going to allow you to talk. How you doing? Your microphone is off, Spencer.
Me unmute myself. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Hi.
Hi, Sherry. I really appreciate you doing this. I saw the link on Facebook,
Oh, great.
and then that's where I register at, and I really so quick. I'm very interested in the 10K project right now because a partner and I have developed a fintech product that service the African diaspora with the continent, right?
Okay.
We providing that linkage. And so we're struggling right now to raise capital. We're trying to find a way how to get access to VC and different folks. And so that's why when I saw the in the advert on Facebook, I was very excited and I signed up for it. So well, I know you said next because I would really like to from a partner how to meet with you first and talk to you about the product, and then because we're already in operations, talk to you about the product, and then you can tell us about the viability of us being part of 10K project, and then how do we raise money.
Yeah, so we don't do it that way. You would
Okay.
need to look at your product and decide if you want to do equity crowdfunding or debt crowdfunding. Um, you will, because you said that you are doing business in Africa, you will need to be a US based company.
No,
That is,
it is a US based company.
yes, I just wanted to make sure everyone else
Yeah,
knows that as
it's a
well.
fully registered US based company.
Yeah, so just for everyone else, the SEC requires you to have a US based company. So that's not a 10K project thing. But you can do business across the globe as long as your company is based in the United States. So you're going to have to decide, Spencer, if this is something that you believe you can raise funds through equity crowdfunding. And if you choose to do that, then you're going to need to file your Form C before Tawana will spend one-on-one time with you. That's done just across the board to make sure that we're like reserving our time. But you are able to do a lot of research on equity crowdfunding and see what companies have raised money successfully versus your product and determine if this is a way for you to go.
Great. So where can we find the Form C because we know already there's the path that we want to take in terms of equity crowdfunding. We just need the right people like yourself and Tawana, like who understands the process. So where do we start with the Form C that you referenced? Because we already been approved by because we already got approved by, I think it's the FEC already. We got approved by them already because we're in the money remittance space. That's the fintech like product that we have, right? So we had to go through all these prior regulations and to ensure that we met compliance to get licenses and all that stuff. So
Yeah,
now,
but you're going to need to, okay, so that's a little bit different from what I'm talking about. So you need to go through an equity crowdfunding portal. So for
okay,
example, WeFunder,
right,
Republic, Buy the Block, etc. They help
okay,
you fill out the Form C and submit it to the government.
Okay.
So that's the process.
So the first process is to go to like WeFunder, right? And do the Form C.
Yes, so you need
Okay.
to be approved by a WeFunder or Republic or By the Block, or they're like 77, not 77, they're over 70 um, approved, SEC approved equity crowdfunding portals out there. So you can go to the SEC website and
Yes,
find
ma'am.
those.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, and then you have to be approved by them. And then they have their process of helping you complete the Form C and submit it to the government. So
Okay.
that's the process. So I will say one more thing to you, Spencer. Please do not depend 100% on the 10K project to help you reach your funding goals. So we also let people know that, you need to have other people, your family, your friends, your network wanting to invest in you as well. So that's just an FYI for everybody out there that we supplement, but we don't do the whole thing.
Okay. Thank you. And we're gonna start there with the SEC and go to the funding plan and get the Form C submitted. Once that approved, then I will get back with you.
Yeah, once you have your Form C submitted, that's the time you want to reach out to Tawana.
Okay.
Okay,
All right, ma'am. Thank you,
thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, then. All right, so we have a couple of questions in YouTube. I see Sabir's Wellness here. What is the best way if you have multiple businesses? My suggestion is pick one business, because you can only raise for one business at a time. And then your second question is, what is the best way to crowdfund if you have multiple businesses? Okay, so you're asking the same question. Pick one business. You're going to need to do one business. So, and then from there, you may have been a little tardy to the whole presentation, but you need a great campaign. You're going to need an SEC approved portal to go through. You're going to need some legal help because this method of funding is governed by the Securities and Exchange Commission and FINRA, and you're going to need investors. So, so Sabir's Wellness, thank you so much for your question, but those are the responses. So if you come to the10kproject.com, click on pitch your business and just fill in the form. We will tag you as an entrepreneur in our system. We have all sorts of information. We have an ebook that has more information in it of how to raise money through this method. We also have a course that is forthcoming that you can get in advance for free in exchange for you giving us feedback. So you definitely want to sign up for that. And we have all sorts of other information that's available to the public because we want more Black entrepreneurs to raise money like this. And we are working actively on getting more Black investors, period, that just want to fund Black businesses. But mostly, we want our people to be a part of this because oftentimes we are consumers of these products and we don't get to participate in the wealth building. And that's what the rich do. They participate in this thing called private equity and, investing in small businesses when they're startups. And we're not doing that as a community. So our goal at the 10K Project is to bring more investors, make them aware that this is an asset class, find the best of the best entrepreneurs in the community and bring you together through the Bet on Black pitch. So with that, I want to thank everybody who has come tonight in Facebook, in YouTube, and on Zoom here. Please, if you are on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. Also subscribe to our channel. If you're on Facebook, also give us a heart and all of that stuff. And if you're in Zoom, just, keep in touch with us. And we hope that some of you will decide to be a part of our focus group. So with that, I'm going to say good evening to everybody. And I will see you hopefully at the Bet on Black pitch at 8 p.m.